mentioned going to elementary school, you were able to know people from all sides. At that time, I believe the set had four sides, and then eventually it got that fifth side.
Mm-hmm.
What side do you represent, and what was it like bouncing around to the different sides of the hood? Is it a different energy? Is it a little different vibe from side to side?
I mean, for some people, I'm from the north side, but really depending on who you are, like who you are, like your character as a person, like how you view life, like, and just your participation over here, like, yeah, that side thing could be it could be a whole different atmosphere, even though it's 5 or 10 minutes away. But like for me, I view every side the same. Like I'm the same person on every side. But like yeah, this side, but the size is different. Like in just the areas they is, cause like I said, there's different areas. So like you got the north side down here, like in the '60s and '70s, and then you might have the west, so the far west over here in the '80s, and then the back west in the '90s. So it's like it's one whole community merged together, but it's also different communities inside one community. So it is like different vibes on different sides, because one side got LAPD, one side got the sheriff. See what I'm saying?
Now you went to LaSalle Elementary in the '90s. Is that the South?
No, LaSalle, you basically that'd be the back west.
Okay, okay.
Basically, so that's the back west.
All right.
Or
And
not
then,
even back. That's kind of on LaSalle. Damn, I never even thought about LaSalle. That's really like, yeah, that's like border. Like that's like border. Like it's really like border like three sides, like the south, the back west, and the far west. That's like the border like three sides. Like
is there also still the original West?
the original west. So that's what yeah. So that's
Okay.
what originally be the original west. Yeah, the original west. That's basically so. The original west is basically like them the G homies, them the older homies. Like you know what I'm saying, like how you know all the West Side Crip dudes. So that's like them older generation dudes. Like you feel me, like the hunchies and them. So that'll be like the original west, and then like the younger dudes, the younger generation, they can't press original west. They far west.
And is there a difference between far West and back West?
Yeah, for sure.
And which
Two
one's the
different
one that
sides.
Lil Sodi said he was instrumental in starting?
Well, Lil Sodi is part of the far west. Lil Sodi is part of the far west.
And that's the newest.
Yeah, that's the last side. Yeah.
Do you envision younger homies creating another side out of, a block where people start hanging again? And would you be open to that? Or does it got to be an ending like, all right, we got enough sides?
Yeah, that side shit. That shit out. No, that side shit. That shit over. It's a different. See, it's a different dynamics of gang banging. See, I think the reason why I see the Far West, what was instrumental about the Far West and why the Far West was able to birth and begin a new side is because the Eight Tray Gangsters had received a lot of recruits at that time. Like it was like for real, like to like 30 to like 50 dudes, like probably like in like if not more in one summer, like and everybody's name was starting with a G. Like so they had just like it was just like a lot of dudes that stayed in this area who was just like click banging and doing other stuff that was just like the homies like, man, I gotta turn the set, or there was at St. Andrews playing. So a lot of dudes that summer, like a lot of work was like being put in, like a lot of dudes was getting put on and stuff like that. So just like it just birthed a new side. Like, oh man, you know what? You feel me? Like, man, look, we about to start the Far West. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? For them dudes who started it. But actually, for the dudes who started it, I don't know what was on their mind, but, I know for sure, like, all them dudes, because I know I went to school with a lot of them dudes, you feel me? And I was banging before them, but I know I went to school with a lot of them, and I was, like, coming home from camp, and they was like, man, Far West, and I'm looking, and everybody's name was, like, with a G, and they was deep, too. And I'm like, damn, where'd all these dudes just spring from? Like, you feel me? Like, for sure, but...
Was it from the IE and...
No. That's before the IE. Like, that's before the IE trends. Back then, we wasn't going for none of that. Like, no, for sure. Because even the Far West dudes had it bad. Like, a lot of them dudes having it bad because you got to understand it's a new size. So it was like a lot of nuts was being tested. Like, you feel me? Like, a lot of dudes that want to come to the north side, and come to certain sides of the set and be around certain members. And then, homies would be like, oh man, the Far West, all them the park boys, they just hang out at the park and this and that. They don't come down here, you feel me? So like they had it rough. Like, them young dudes had it rough. Was definitely, dudes was getting, socked out, getting chased, getting roughed up. You feel me? Like, so a lot of them dudes had to withstand the test of time, and like, and some dudes already came hard body, but like, you go through that transition. It's just part of being in the concrete jungle.
Now, on a map, ETG is arguably one of the biggest geographic continuous sets.
Yeah.
Now the '60s, if you throw the Overhills in there, it gets big.
Yeah.
But ETG would be the second largest set of all sets.
Yeah.
From Century all the way to the south, to 65th, 66?
Yep, six base. Yeah, we like to say gauge for real. Like, basically, so I'm gonna say this. So, during the times like when we was like beefing with the Brims, like I think that gauge line was like separated Brim from Eight Tray Gangsters, but like during the times that we ain't been beefing with them, a lot of our homies who stayed down there, because that's the north side. A lot of our homies who stayed down there, have moved from down there. Families moved out, don't stay down there no more, and it allowed the Brims, some did stay on that side, some didn't, come across Gauge, and they was on them blocks down there, and being that the homies wasn't over there, they started little cliques over there in the area, so they be trying to, like, they got like the 6'4" Brim clique, but like, geographically, that's really the hood, you feel me? But being that, it wasn't like no beef with them, or we wasn't tripping with them, or we wasn't down there, you feel me? That was able to happen. But like, what I'm saying? It's like naturally to say, you can say like, yeah, Gauge, shit, 64th, like, from there, what I'm saying? It's supposed to.
I said Century, but I don't want to disrespect the 99 Mafias because they got that last block.
That's their hood, but the back west of our hood started on 98th and Normandy. But see, you gotta understand, like, that's they block. They down there, but they always been down there with the homies, you feel me? Like, they always been, like, from my understanding, them and the homies always been down there. So it's like, it rightfully can say, like, that's the set too, you feel me? Like, cause like, they always been down there with the homies, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so when you was in Pelican Bay and then when you got out, I want to talk a little bit about some rap questions, because there was a lot of cats doing their rap thing, 08, 09, 2010, 11, 12, 13, like that little time period birthed a lot of new rappers, including Nipsey Hussle and Lil Sodi. What was you thinking about when you seeing all this? That was the huge rap movement, because even J-Rock came out, Glasses Malone, all these LA rappers was coming out between 07 to 2013, that period there. And this is after, like, you could say this is the second movement from Game. Game came out in 04 with his album, kind of brought the West back. And then in 07, 08, 09, all these other dudes, Ty Dolla $ign, J-Rock, Kendrick, Nipsey, Lil Sodi. But there was a bunch of other Eight Trays. I interviewed a few of them that were rapping. August Blue was rapping.
Greedy. TG, that's Greedy.
Greedy, yeah. What was you thinking about during this period?
Shit, I was in the streets. I ain't gonna even lie. I knew how to rap back then, and back then, Lil Sodi used to always, cause that's back then I was hanging with Lil Sodi a lot. Lil Sodi was like my everyday like partner back then. You feel me? Like, he had stayed in my apartment complex on 79th, so like I used to be at his house like every day, like even before then. You feel me? Like when he was staying in Inglewood. So during that time, Lil Sodi used to try to get me in the studio to make music, but I ain't gonna even lie, like, bro, like I was just lackluster back then, even though I already knew how to rap, you feel me, and already had it down packed. Like, I just didn't, you know what I'm saying, I don't know what it was about me going to the studio and putting in the time or taking the time to lay down the track to where to be like, man, nah, bro, we gonna do it, I'm gonna write something, I'm gonna do something, we gonna go do it. And I never got around to it. Like, I was like steadfast, like, you feel me, like on some Eight Tray shit, just like in the streets, like, gang banging, hustling, trying to get some money, like, and shit, and just like, running amok through here, you feel me, you know what I'm saying?
But even Lil Sodi, I think he was back and forth to prison twice.
But he was rapping, he was getting in the studio to where I wasn't even trying to go do that. You feel me, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing about it. He had that discipline to go to the studio versus me not seeing that versus me not seeing that, you know what I'm saying, instrumental, you know what I'm saying, view, or, you know what I'm saying, like having that hindsight. Like he seen it, like he was on it early, you know what I'm saying, to me, even though I had that acronym, you know what I'm saying, and I could have been rapping early like them, I was just like, I wasn't tripping about it. Like, I'm like rapping, like, yeah, man, and I'm like, I can do it, but I ain't about to go to no studio and trying to do this and that, like even try to see what the process was.